You track every dollar. You haven't ordered takeout in months. You drive a decade-old car while your peers lease new ones. Your savings account grows slowly, painfully slowly, but it grows. And yet 5 years later, you're nowhere near the wealth you imagined. Here's the truth nobody tells disciplined savers. You can control money so tightly that it suffocates growth. Picture this: fine sand resting in your palm, squeeze gently and the sand stays. Clench your fist with all your strength and it pours through the cracks between your fingers. The harder you grip, the less you retain. This is the clenched fist method, the invisible trap that keeps the most disciplined people financially stuck. And every month you spend locked in this pattern, you're not just delaying wealth, you're actively preventing it. It's not about spending recklessly, it's not about abandoning discipline. It's about understanding that money, like sand, needs calculated release to multiply. And there's a specific pattern that separates those who control money from those who let money control them, even when they think they're doing everything right. The disciplined saver operates from one belief: preservation above all. Every expense is scrutinized, every investment feels too risky. Every opportunity to deploy capital is met with, "But what if I need this later?" This isn't frugality, this is financial paralysis disguised as wisdom. Meanwhile, the wealth builder operates from a different principle entirely: strategic deployment. They understand that money sitting idle doesn't just stagnate, it loses value to inflation. They know that $5,000 spent learning high-income skills can return $50,000 in 2 years. They see capital as a tool that must be used, not a treasure that must be buried. And here's where it gets dangerous. The clenched fist method doesn't just slow your financial progress. It creates 3 specific wealth-killing behaviors that compound over time. First, opportunity blindness. When a disciplined saver sees a rental property generating 12% annual returns, they see risk. When a wealth builder sees the same property, they see $600 of monthly passive income after 5 years of appreciation. Same opportunity, completely different lens. Second, scarcity mentality that breeds itself. You become so focused on protecting what you have that you can't imagine having more. Your identity shifts from person building wealth to person defending savings. And that shift, subtle as it is, changes every financial decision you make. Third, skill acquisition paralysis. You won't invest $2,000 in a professional certification because that's 2 months of savings, completely ignoring that the certification could double your earning potential within a year. You won't spend $500 on the course that teaches you how to negotiate salary because it feels like wasting money, missing the fact that one negotiation could earn you $10,000 more annually for the rest of your career. The math is brutal. You're saving $2,000 today to avoid the discomfort of spending while sacrificing $20,000 in future earnings. This is the trap's cruelest mechanism. It feels like financial responsibility. It looks like discipline. And every month it locks you deeper into stagnation while telling you you're doing the right thing. So what's the real difference between someone who controls money and someone who lets money control them? It's not how much they save, it's not how frugal they are. It's whether they see themselves as a hoarder or a steward. A hoarder asks, "How do I protect this?" A steward asks, "How can this money best serve my long-term goals?" That single shift in question changes everything. Because a steward understands something fundamental. Some capital must be planted as seeds to yield future harvests. Not all of it, not recklessly, but strategically. They know that wealth doesn't come from white-knuckled grip. It comes from the wisdom to hold, the courage to deploy, and the discipline to distinguish between the two. But here's where most people get stuck. They think, okay, I'll start deploying capital, I'll take risks. And then they swing to the opposite extreme. They start investing in speculative crypto. They dump savings into a friend's unproven business idea. They confuse strategic deployment with gambling. And when that fails, and it often does, they retreat back into the clenched fist method, even more convinced that the only safe move is to hold tight and never let go. This pendulum swing between financial paralysis and reckless risk is exactly what keeps people trapped. They never find the middle paths. They never learn to deploy capital with intention. And the cost compounds in ways you can't see. It's not just the rental property you didn't buy that's now worth 30% more. It's not just the certification you didn't pursue that would have unlocked a promotion. It's the psychological prison you're building. Year after year, your relationship with money becomes defined by fear instead of strategy, by scarcity instead of abundance, by protection instead of growth. You start to resent the very discipline that was supposed to set you free. Here's the framework that separates wealth builders from disciplined hoarders. Allocate your money into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, safety, 6 to 12 months of expenses, untouchable, this is your foundation. Bucket 2, growth, 50 to 60% of remaining capital. This is deployed, invested in diversified assets, skill development, strategic opportunities that multiply over time. Bucket 3, liquidity, 20 to 30%, accessible for opportunities you can't predict. Now here's what changes everything. The disciplined saver keeps 90% in bucket 1. They feel safe, they feel responsible, and they stay exactly where they are. The wealth builder keeps 20% in bucket 1 and deploys the rest. That deployment, rental properties, index funds, business ventures, skill upgrades, is what compounds into generational wealth. It's not magic, it's math combined with courage. Because financial freedom doesn't come from never spending. It comes from spending with intention on things that multiply. It doesn't come from avoiding all risk, it comes from understanding which risks are worth taking. And it definitely doesn't come from clenching your fist around every dollar until your knuckles turn white. Your self-control is your superpower. The discipline that got you here is rare and valuable. But if you're using that discipline to control yourself out of opportunities, if you're so busy defending your savings that you forget to deploy them, you're not building wealth. You're building a prison with bars made of unspent dollars. The wealthiest people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who held money the tightest. They're the ones who learned to hold it strategically, to release it intentionally. To understand that true financial power comes not from accumulation alone, but from the intelligent deployment of accumulated resources. Money in motion, directed with purpose, creates more money. Money frozen by fear creates only stagnation. The sand metaphor holds one final truth. If you want to build something lasting, you can't keep squeezing. You have to learn when to open your hand, shape what you're building, and trust the foundation you've created. That's not recklessness. That's stewardship. And it's the only path from discipline to actual freedom.